Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are cracking the code on a mind that literally refuses to accept easy answers. We're talking about Saturn in the ninth house. If you've ever been accused of overanalyzing a piece of perfectly simple advice, or if your default reaction to any new belief is just, prove it, well, you are in the exact right place. Let's dive in and see what really makes this deeply inquisitive mindset tick. Are you thinking independently, or are you just resisting wisdom itself? This is a super provocative question, right? But it sits right at the core of this astrological placement. You see, people with Saturn in the ninth house are actually deeply misunderstood. Because you instinctively question things, others might look at you and assume, oh, they're just being stubborn, or they're just being rebellious for the sake of it. But that is a massive misconception. You aren't pushing back just to be difficult. You are constantly wrestling with this subtle but huge question. Are you truly exercising independent thought? Or has your skepticism become a wall that resists actual wisdom? The answer is rarely simple.
Section 1. The Inner Truth Filter.
So, let's start by looking at what actually happens the second you're presented with a new idea. It's all about that instinctual pause you take before agreeing with anything society just hands you. See, while a lot of folks easily inherit beliefs from their family or culture without a second thought, you operate completely differently. Literally everything you encounter, whether it's some grand philosophy, a spiritual teaching, a hard-earned life lesson from a friend, or just whatever the popular opinion of the day is, it all has to pass through your strict internal filter first. You just can't adopt a belief simply because everyone else has. In this way, Saturn is kind of like a cosmic quality assurance inspector. It demands that truth be earned. It teaches you that real wisdom can never, ever be borrowed from someone else's certainty. Like if a teacher or society says this is true, that is never enough for you. For this placement, truth has to be built brick by brick. It takes immense patience, direct personal experience, intellectual discipline, and some brutally honest reflection. You have to build it from the ground up, all by yourself. Section 2. Slowing the ninth house. To see how this rigorous filtering really plays out, we have to look at the ninth house itself. In astrology, this house is all about life's biggest, most expansive questions. It governs higher learning, philosophy, religion, spirituality, and that lifelong search for meaning. It even covers how we seek that meaning, through things like long-distance travel and our relationships with mentors. But instead of handing you instant faith or some quick, easy understanding in these areas, Saturn steps in and totally slams on the brakes. It intentionally slows all of these experiences way down. And because Saturn hits the brakes, you're forced into this highly methodical learning process. It's a clear step-by-step. Step 1, question the inherited belief. Step 2, carefully observe the tangible evidence. And step 3, let time actually test it. You value evidence over assumptions every single time. Honestly, you're the kind of person would happily spend a whole decade finding just one genuine, undeniable truth, rather than swallow 100 comforting ideas that haven't been properly stress-tested. This incredibly analytical approach completely changes how you view authority. When you're searching for meaning, teachers play a really unusual role for you. You might deeply admire wisdom, sure, but you rarely idolize people. Mentors absolutely have to earn your respect through their integrity, not just because they have some fancy title on their office door. Books and lectures might inspire you, but lived experience, especially the kind that aggressively challenges your perspectives, that will always be your greatest teacher. You literally need those experiences to weed out the weak ideas that can't survive honest examination. Section 3. The Trap of Endless Doubt. Now, we really need to address the central conflict here, because your greatest strength as an independent thinker actually carries a hidden and frankly often painful challenge. It's incredibly common for people with Saturn in the ninth house to go through these intense periods where they feel totally disconnected from traditional beliefs. You might find yourself outgrowing old philosophies way before you've discovered new ones to take their place. And let's be real, that creates a very specific kind of loneliness. It feels so isolating to be floating in uncertainty when absolute certainty just seems to come so effortlessly to everyone else around you. Because constant questioning, it's a total double-edged sword. On one hand, you've got healthy skepticism. This is the good stuff. It encourages wisdom, keeps your curiosity alive, and acts as a genuine path forward. But if you cross that line, you fall into endless doubt. When the fear of being wrong or the fear of commitment replaces your genuine curiosity, that skepticism stops being a path and literally turns into a prison. It quietly suffocates your growth and just keeps you stuck. Section 4. Achieving Quiet Wisdom.
But if you can successfully navigate that trap of endless doubt and manage to keep your curiosity alive, you reach the ultimate reward. Saturn reminds you of this really profound truth. Lasting wisdom often grows in silence, not in crowds. Every single difficult question you wrestle with is just part of your education. Every disappointment reshapes your understanding. These struggles are systematically stripping away your illusions, layer by layer, until only what feels truly authentic remains.
And over time, all that intense intellectual discipline fosters this remarkable maturity. In your daily life, you become someone who speaks way less but understands far more. You start valuing thoughtful, nuanced conversations. Your ego just takes a back seat. You completely lose the urge to loudly broadcast your opinions or prove other people wrong. And instead, you become hyper-focused on discovering what is objectively actually true. Which brings you to this incredibly powerful realization. Certainty is absolutely not the same as truth. You finally recognize that real wisdom doesn't belong to the people who blindly accept every answer handed to them without a second thought. But, equally importantly, it doesn't belong to the cynics who just reject every answer out of hand either. Both of those extremes, they're really just shortcuts to avoid doing the actual, rigorous work of thinking. So I want to leave you with this final takeaway from our explainer today. True independent thinking isn't about stubbornly resisting guidance. It's about respecting wisdom enough to examine it with an open mind. As the saying goes, wisdom belongs to those who remain humble enough to keep learning, patient enough to keep searching, and courageous enough to change their beliefs when deeper truth finally appears. So ask yourself, is your skepticism currently acting as a shield to protect your ego, or is it a genuine compass guiding you toward the truth?